And what I want to do today is highlight one of the nice features about Desmos, which is to create a scatter plot and find a model that is going to fit the scatter plot to make some predictions. Today we're going to have some data on the revolutions per minute of an engine and relate that to the speed of a pontoon boat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to the plus sign. I want to add a table. And in that table, I'm going to type in the X values, which are the RPMs of the engine. So it's going to be 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 4,500, and 5,500. These, again, are the RPMs of an engine. The Y1 values are going to be the speed of the pontoon boat. So this is 4.5 miles per hour. 8.9 miles per hour, 13.8 miles per hour, 18.9 miles per hour, 29.9 miles per hour, and 37.7 miles per hour. So this is our data that we're given. And what it should do in Desmos is to graph it, but I don't see anything here. So I realize there's going to be a nice plus sign right here with a zoom fit. So I'm going to click on that, and here's my data. So this is data on, again, the X values are the RPMs and revolutions per minute, and the Y values are the speed of the pontoon boat. So what I want to do is fit a model to this. And what's really nice about Desmos is if you look underneath the 1 here next to the table, I can actually add a regression model. So if I click on it, the default's going to be linear. And so you see that the green line does pass through most of the dots, but in statistics, what we want to do is actually look at the residual plot and find out what's a good model by looking at the residual plot. So the way to do that is I'm going to go ahead and click on the plot button right here next to residuals, and it's going to create some purple dots right here. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and actually not look at the regression line by turning this off by clicking on it. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in right here. So what I want to do is I want to look at these purple dots and find out, is there a pattern or is it pretty random and scattered? And right now there is sort of a pattern because on the left side of the graph it's very widespread from top to bottom, from here to here, but it actually goes smaller and smaller as you go to the right. That's a pattern. We don't want to see that. We don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go back to turning off the scatter plot for the residuals. I'm going to go ahead and graph the regression line and go back to zooming out a little bit. And I'm going to change, because there is an option to change the type of regression model we're going to use right here under the pull down menu. This is a nice new feature that Desmos put in there, which is really nice. So I'm going to click on this and actually look at the quadratic regression model. And you notice that it looks linear, but it is a quadratic model because I look at the coefficients here. There is an x squared term, x term, and a number by itself. But again, I want to look at the residual. So all I want to do is click on here and click on the plus sign to see that pattern, if there's a pattern. Turn this off again. And although this looks okay, it's better than the one before. Okay, maybe there's another model that fits better. And so what I want to do is I'm look at the next choice, which is cubic. So if I'm going to choose cubic, I look at this residual plot, and this looks more scattered than all the other ones. So this will be my best model, okay? And again, the other thing we look at too for statistics is the R squared value is 0.9966. I didn't point it out before, but this is the highest value that we can get from the other models as well. The quadratic was not as high, and the linear was not as high either. So this is a good model for the data. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on, turn off the residuals, and zoom out a little bit. So there's my model, okay? So what I want to do, for example, is I'm going to find out what is the speed that the pontoon is going to have when the RPM of the engine is about 2,800. So what I want to do is, one of the nice features is I can actually click on this little icon next to the equation. It's going to copy it and paste it to another cell. And what I want to do from here, though, is I want to go ahead and go to the beginning of the equation, and I'm going to change y to a function notation. So we'll see y in a second. I'm going to say f of x, And what's going to happen now is if I want to find out the speed of an engine with a certain RPM, I'm going to go to the next cell here, and I'm going to type in F of 2800 because that's what I want to find out what the speed is going to be for an engine that's going 2800 RPMs. And I look at it, and it does say that it will be about 16.139 miles per hour. So this is a very good thing to do in Desmos. We have a lot of data in the world. I want to fit certain models to it, make some predictions. And so this is a nice feature in Desmos to be able to use. Thank you very much for your time.